Greetings and welcome back to my channel, Alchemy de la Roche, the place where we talk about ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom. And why the cockroach? Because the cockroach is one of the most ancient insects on planet Earth. They were here before us, and they will most definitely be here after us. So now in speaking of wisdom, I just want to read a couple of verses from Solomon's prayer for wisdom. Verse 10, send her forth from the holy heavens, and from the throne of your glory send her, that she may labor at my side, and that I may learn what is pleasing to you. For she knows and understands all things, and she will guide me wisely in my actions and guard me with her glory. So that's just a bit of a shout out to wisdom, the almighty female essence, feminine essence, calling on wisdom. In today's video, I want to talk to you about 10 reasons why you should not talk to people and what you should do instead. So now, before the lockdown began last year, I was going through experiencing a burnout. I was done. I was done with the work that I was doing. I was done with just hustling, like literally, hustling, working for the money and trying to figure out how it goes on. And some months are good and some months were not good, as a self-employed freelancer. And I just felt like I was absolutely completely done. And before I don't know, it was some kind of like divine timing. And before the lockdown took place, I had already made my various announcements to the various people that I was working with in January at the start of the year, and I was just like, I'm just done, I kept a few jobs that I had already promised that I would follow through on, and which took me to about June. I had one big job to complete, and then that was it. After that, I just went into my laboratory, into my shell, hermit mode, lockdown. I was already on my own personal lockdown. It was a feeling that was coming since a while now, and how ironic that in March of 2020. An official lockdown would be, or this announcement of this, this pandemic was made, and then all these restrictions that were slowly but surely, coming into play. So I personally felt like it was an appropriate. It was weird because actually, last year in Christmas, around Christmas time, I really I made some really deep, intense prayers to my guardian angels, to the Most High, to all of my ancestors, to help me to make moves, help me to break through, help me to get to the next level, out of this Ferris wheel, if you will. And, I lit some candles and I burnt some incense, and I was just deep in meditations. And then this comes, 2020, the year to beat all years. And I personally felt like it was an answer to my prayers. It's the weirdest thing. I felt like this lockdown, this pandemic was the answer to my prayers, man, because I was already, since a while, I was already done. So, I had one big job in June. I did that, and I looked a mess when I looked at myself on the video later. I looked tired, I was overweight, I had like dark circles under my eyes, but I wanted to see the job through to the end, and so I did. And then after that, I was just done. I went on sick leave, and I didn't contact people, like for the first time In all of my years, I finally kept my mouth closed. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't call anybody. I just, I was just home, just to myself. And can you imagine what kind of releasing that was? I mean, if you can relate to what I'm saying, please leave a comment and let me know. This was the beginning of my purge, and I must say that I'm still purging. I've purged actually quite a lot, but I recognize that there are still some last remains somewhere inside of me of things that I have to release and let go of. So as I finally started to just sit in silence, that golden, beautiful silence, no appointments, nowhere to go, no car to drive. I sold my car. Like nothing to run after, nothing to chase, nobody calling me, wanting my commitment with something, just absolutely nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. 100% complete, pure silence. Meditation, I guess you could say. And I can't even begin to explain all the things that happened to me when I went into that hermit mode and listened to the silence. It was one of the most revealing things ever. I saw things clearly. I walked through the halls of my life over the past 20 plus years. I observed myself in my past and how I was and all the things that I did, and like memories would come into my mind, and I would be watching myself and how I interacted. I could see the faces of the people who were interacting with me, and I saw some very revealing things. And so and so from that point of view, I wanted to make this video on 10 reasons why you should not talk to people and what you should do instead. So here is reason number 1. People lie. People lie all the time. And I'm not just talking about little white lies, like, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and so you can't really get to work. So you just want to say that you got like a splitting headache, or like you're sick or something, or you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings, but, so you say something to kind of like smooth things out, a little tiny white lie. How about no lies at all? How about being authentic? How about standing in your truth, speaking your truth? Learning whatever your truth is. Like, what is really your truth? Like, what is my truth, right? So people lie on the grandest scale of the theme of lying, like pure, like people lie so much it's like second nature. Like, you really have to ask yourself, am I only talking to the facade of this person, or is this person being real with me? Because they seem kind of warm and genuine. But is it really real? Is it the real? Like, how can I actually differentiate the real from the fake? So that's the question. That's one of the questions that we're just gonna put out there rhetorically. So this is about knowing how to stand in your truth when you know that people will instantly and automatically lie. And what does Lauryn Hill say? That people lie because they even lie to themselves. I mean, sometimes it's a good thing to lie to yourself. They say fake it until you make it, right? Okay, but I'm talking about big denial lying. So here's reason number 2 why you should not talk to people. People can bring bad vibes. Bad vibes on all kinds of levels. Maybe they bring you bad vibes because they just got bad energy, Or maybe they bring you bad vibes because they don't like you and they want to just bring you something, unwanted, unsolicited. Or, yeah, maybe they just like a bad vibe, pessimistic, Debbie Downer, spoil sport, kind of an individual. And given the current state of affairs in our world today, it is pretty easy to have bad vibes. I mean, this has been one of the most challenging tests of mental strength that I've personally have ever witnessed, dealing with all the so-called new laws as a result of this pandemic. So yeah, man, people can bring bad vibes, and at this point in time, that bad vibes can be running rampant with people who don't know what to do with themselves, people who don't know how to channel negative energy into something positive, or people who got the short end of the stick as a result of this current situation because they didn't have any thing to fall back on, or they got caught out there and they weren't ready, they weren't prepared. So there's all kinds of reasons to have bad vibes these days, like more than ever. So yeah, number 2, people can bring you bad vibes. Reason number 3 why you should not talk to people. Most people are asleep. Most people are sleeping. And let me just say, in addition to that, that we are all under the influence of magic. In some way, shape, or form, we are all under the influence of magic. Just to bring that into your awareness. And for those who are not aware that these kinds of subtle energies exist around us, to lull us into a slumber, or as some people say, to rock you to sleep, right? When you don't know that these kinds of energies exist around us through images, through sound, through frequencies, through colors, through tones, vibrations, all these things, doing its job, doing its work, having its effect on our systems or on our organisms, right? So when you become aware of this, then you can build some kind of defense, even if it is to just pull yourself back and to separate yourself from the damaging influences. So yeah, reason number 3 is that, most people are sleeping, and it's difficult to, if you're into that kind of surface level conversation, then, by all means, have fun with it. However, I find personally that it's nice to have, deep conversations about, God and the world. And it's difficult to find people to have those kinds of conversations with when they're not really in touch with their own organic being, with their own various multidimensional systems that exist within each and every one of us. So yeah, reason number 3, most people are sleeping. Reason number 4, why you should not talk to people. I find personally, now let me know if you agree, and if you do agree, please, leave a comment, underneath the video. But I find that there's been an increase of betrayal on planet Earth. Now, as I went into my hermit mode and started to walk through the various halls and spaces and dimensions of my life, going back 20 plus years, I witnessed the betrayal. But because I was sleeping at the time, which at that time I thought I was woke, I thought I was aware, but I got rocked to sleep being charmed and hypnotized by people who I thought were being genuine to me, right? So, and I fell for the okie doke. I fell for the okie doke. And so as I was reminiscing and walking through the various halls of my life and looking at those people's faces and looking at myself and my reaction and my interactions, I sat back and I thought to myself, wow, you mean to tell me that so and so and so and so and person A and person B, they were playing me from the jump and I didn't catch it? I thought they were being true. I thought they were being genuine. I thought they were being loving. Okay. Back it up. Let me see. What was I doing in the situation? What was my behavior like? What was I bringing to the table? What? I was acting like that? Like I was just all talky talk and just not having any kind of bridle on my mouth, just releasing all of my feelings and thoughts about this, that, and the other thing without really checking if that person was truly with me and on the same page as me, but they just kept saying, yeah, right, I know what you're talking about, I understand, yeah, I know, I've been through that too. Like they were agreeing with me and keeping the situation or the interaction agreeable in order to keep me talking and expressing myself and exposing my innermost thoughts and feelings. And so the betrayal revealed itself in kaleidoscopic colors, my dear listeners, after this lockdown took place. It was like scales falling from my eyes that I could see clearly the exact faces of people who took the time, years and years and years and years worth of time, to systematically play me and then at the end betray me. So as I went into hermit mode, I think also too, it was a general state for pretty much everybody since they made everyone do this kind of social distancing thing. So everyone was just with their families and with their husbands and wives and partners and whatever and their children but like there was no telephone calls, there was no communication, there was no exchange. And I was absolutely fine with it, actually. But I was also checking how it wasn't coming from the other side as well. After my years of service and dedication to working and interacting with these very same people over the course of these years. So yeah, betrayal. Betrayal is on the increase, and this is about learning how to protect your heart. Because betrayal, my dear listeners, is one of the most painful feelings that you could ever experience in your life as a human on planet Earth. Because it means that you made the conscious decision to give your trust, your care, your concern into an individual. And that individual turns around and tears that apart. And so it feels like, there's this tarot card. It's the Three of Swords tarot card. And it's three swords sticking into a heart. It's a very revealing image on this tarot card, the Three of Swords. I might have to include that in the description box, the meaning of the Three of Swords. And that's what betrayal feels like. It feels like three swords sticking into your heart. I mean, you betrayed yourself because you feel like, well, why didn't I catch that? Or why didn't I see it coming? Or what did I do wrong? You start to feel like you're a loser. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why did that person feel like they needed to play me like that? You feel definitely betrayed by the other person. And then who is that other person working for or hanging out with or in communications with that they felt the need to somehow or another put you in the middle of an unknown construct to play off of you? Because a betrayal doesn't just happen between two people. I find that's always like a three or more party kind of situation. There's always some other shadow figure, in the background who's running things. Because why would somebody have the idea to even want to betray you unless there's somebody saying, hey, do it like this, do it like that. I mean, if it's in a love relationship, a partnership, okay, then there's a secret lover somewhere, there's another supply individual somewhere. That's another story, but it's still this triad, right? This triangle kind of a situation. So this is about learning how to protect your heart. And whatever that means, like, how do you protect your heart? That's the next question that we're just going to ask in a kind of, I lost the word, rhetorical kind of a way. So reason number 5 why you should not talk to people. If there is no clear connection of partnership, and I don't mean partnership only in terms of a love relationship. I mean partnership, in business, partnership in life in general, because, when we're out in the world of commerce, because we're dealing in commerce, as a kid, as a young girl, I thought that life was about having fun, watching TV, eating Fruit Loops and hanging out with friends and going to school and having parties and things like this. And then you grow up and you find that life is really happening in another kind of a way that no one ever told you about. No one ever told you that life is about commerce. And I don't mean commerce only in terms of exchanging money or finances, but just that those daily interactions, the daily intercoursing with various people on various levels, and how to navigate that, right? How to handle that in the most sublime, supreme way possible. Because if you don't have that kind of mindset or some kind of structure in place in your mind that when I go outside, I'm intercoursing with people, if it's to pay for something, if it's to, help somebody across the street, or to say hi, or to avoid trouble, or whatever the case may be. If you don't have certain kinds of schemas in place, then you're setting yourself up to be a victim. And I'm speaking directly from experience. These are all the things that have been revealed to me as I went into hermit mode. Because when people come into your life, reason number 5 why you shouldn't talk to people is because people want information. If they see that you are not about yourself, if they see that you're not connected with yourself, and there are people who are very astute and very aware and very well trained in this commercial intercoursing life that we're living in, and they are so astute and so aware that they can tell and see if you are connected with yourself or not. And if you're not connected with yourself, oh boy, is all I can say. You better beware, because they're going to come in and they're going to do some damage. Some damage is going to get done. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're dealing with somebody who is astute and aware, and they see that you are not connected with yourself. Now, if the person is honorable, which is what I missed in my connections with other people. As I scanned my life, I didn't find anybody honorable. I only found people who took advantage of my deep slumber. They saw that I wasn't present, that I was in that sunken place, that I wasn't with myself, and they came in and they took full advantage. So, reason number 5, people only want information. They come in asking questions, right? They want to get something from you, but they don't want to give nothing, like they don't have anything to offer. And maybe you don't have anything to offer either. So the only thing that they can get out of you is information. And because you're not connected with yourself, you give it, you just talk and talk and talk and, and blah, blah, blah. And then before you know it, you done spilled your guts about things you thought maybe were not important. But that is just now ammunition for them to use against you at some later date. So the best thing is I don't answer questions. There's this one YouTube video of this guy who got stopped by the police, and the police was asking him all kinds of questions, and he just kept saying, "I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions." And do you know, as I went into this hermit mode, and pulled myself back from people. I mean, I did not call and talk to, for the first time, this woman right here was the most quietest had ever been. And it revealed to me how people had been interacting with me, because people started calling me since they didn't, I had some videos, on YouTube, presenting myself, trying to, make videos. I took everything down. I shut everything down, man. You couldn't catch me on the internet, like nothing. And I realized the kind of relationship that I had with people, because people started calling me because they didn't see me or hear from me. And I recognized and I realized how they kept asking me questions. Like they didn't call to say, hey, it's a beautiful day and I was thinking about you and I hope that you're okay. And hey, you want to go for a walk? I'll buy you an ice cream or bring some ice cream over. What do you think about this book? I read a good book, or I saw a great movie, or, when this whole, social distancing is over, let's go out, for, like they were not bringing me anything of value, man. Like I realized and I never realized it before. They only called to ask me questions, getting information. And as I was talking to them, I was like dead on the phone. I was like, uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I'm just, just here, just relaxing. Nothing much going on. I was dead, So, yeah, that's another reason why you shouldn't talk to people, because they only want to get information out of you. And if they're not bringing anything to the table, people, if there's no mutual exchange, then it's all a waste of time. Reason number 6 why you should not talk to people, because people are in denial. They're in denial. So, like, you can't talk about your contradicting, thoughts and ideas about the current, political situation or the current state of affairs, because people don't really want to deal with a possible reality that we're all getting played. That there's something sinister happening, behind the scenes, or, what if situations, and how will you prepare, or just in denial about, like, whatever. Like, you can't talk to people because you know that they're just not going to be about truth, which also touches upon the idea of someone becoming very easily excitable and emotional, because maybe in talking about something that they're in denial about causes them to be quickly emotional, which could turn into an explosive situation. So to save yourself the trouble from all of that, that's number 6 why you should not talk to people. Reason number 7 why you shouldn't talk to people, and this is a big one for me. There is now a great divide between those who took that stuff and those who say, no, not me. When I say stuff, I think that you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say any keywords because I don't want, this video to get flagged or whatever. So, I don't know. Like, I can't really, okay, look, of course, as I said before, when I was younger, I did a lot of, I did a whole lot of silly things. And if authorities said, jump, I'd jump, I would ask how high, but I'd at least jump, because you think that when people say, hey, this is the situation, we're having a problem, right? When the government says this is the situation, we are having a problem right now, and this is how we are going to respond. Well, you when you're young, you think, yeah, okay, if that's what they say that we have to do, then we're going to do it. If they say that one is the enemy, then that one is the enemy. If they say that those people or that racial group or those, bunch of people, if they say that those guys are the enemy, well, I guess that's how it's got to be. Because they have to know, right? They got to know what's good for us. They have our best interests at heart. I mean, like, why wouldn't they? Why would they want to do something, dark and sinister to the people? But as you get older, right? As you get wiser, you think to yourself, nah, something is something's a little bit screwy. Something is a little bit screwy, man. It doesn't make sense, right? And then you get all kinds of conflicting stories. Some stories say that it's all a hoax, or it's all just a big scam, and some say no, it's the real thing. And in order to be protected, you have to do this, this, and this. But I know that I am a creation of the Most High, and I carry within me a divine light. And if I allow other entities to soil my temple more than my temple has already been soiled because I was sleeping. My temple is a holy space, and it's protected by the Most High and from the divine light that is within me. And if I allow some entities to enter into my temple, to leave something behind that doesn't belong inside of my temple, which could maybe possibly disconnect me disconnect me from my divinity, then that doesn't have any rhyme or reason for me. And that's my reason, right? So maybe you have your reason that you say, I'm not gonna go and let them do that to me. You crazy? I don't know what's in that stuff. I don't know what's gonna do to me down the road. I don't know what the real big plan is, or what they got planned, and how that's going to have an effect 10 years later or whatever. I mean, like, everybody has their reasons. But for the people who said, yeah, I do it all in the name of science, and I'm happy to be one of the first, test subjects or trial case studies, or, people who think, yeah, they know what's best. If they say that it's like this, then it's like this. So we're going to do it. It's like, you have to ask yourself, where is the critical thinking capacities of the human population? Where has it gone to? But okay, everyone has to walk their walk, and I'm not here to judge anybody. So I'm just, laying out a verbal story for you to take a look at. So the people who decided that they're just going to go ahead and give their bodies to this experiment, I will call it. Nobody knows how that's going to take effect, and we've already read stories, news articles, online of how many people have already transitioned a day, some immediately, some a day later, some days later, maybe some weeks later, but many people who unfortunately transitioned after having taken this experimental stuff, But for the people who are still, existing after having taken this into their bodies, most of us are standing back, looking at them like, you all right? You gonna be all right? How you feel? You feel good? How long has it been? It's been a week now, 2 weeks. You feel good? Like, we have to maybe protect ourselves from them, because we don't know what's coming, a year later, 2-3 years later, 4 years later. And ain't they saying something about you have to get the thing topped up every few months or every year or some? I mean, look, bro. I mean, like, this is going to be the great divide between those who have taken that into their bodies and those who say, this is my holy temple and it will not be defiled in the name of the Most High. So that was reason number, what was that? Reason number 7 why you shouldn't talk to people. The great divide between those who have taken it and those who have not. So protect yourself, because nobody knows. Reason number 8 why you should not talk to people. How can you even be sure that you're even talking to a human? You know what I mean? They're talking about possibility of reptilians or aliens, visiting our planet, the alien invasion and, you know, abducted, and, all kinds of like sci-fi stuff. But, it isn't really sci-fi though. We've seen a lot of weird behavior from people, not just news stories, things you hear on the radio. You watch people, you talk to people, you have interactions with people, and you feel somewhere inside of your body, man, somewhere inside of your nervous system, somewhere inside of your heart that something don't feel right. Something don't feel right, something don't look right, something don't smell right, something is just off with a particular individual or with people. So something is just off, man. And that could possibly be a topic, of another video about what that other entity could be within that human. But these days, in this time that we're living in, where AI is just pretty much running itself now, how do we know if we're even talking to a human? Or how do we know if that human is not possessed by another entity? Or how do you know if that human hasn't been, or that person hasn't been sent into your life, designed to go into your life only to wreak havoc? So, yeah. That's reason number 8 why you shouldn't talk to people, because you just don't know who you're dealing with. Number 9, another reason why you shouldn't talk to people. I guess it's kind of springboarding off number 8. It's because people are fake and phony. Like, how do you be authentic now in this time that we're living in, where truth seems to be one of the most radical things that you could ever express, where speaking your truth and being truthful has the feeling of carrying dire consequences with it. So how do you stand in your authenticity and in your truth when there is so much fake and phoniness going around? So yeah, reason number 9 why you shouldn't talk to people is because people are fake and phony. And reason number 10 why you should not talk to people is because you don't know how people have been programmed. We are all biological computers. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just lay it out there. We can talk about belief systems and how you were raised, by who, where, when, and all these kinds of things. And those, they all belong to what I'm saying. They all play their part. So in a general sense, we say that we have been programmed, disillusioned. We thought that what we experienced, what we learned, what we were doing, we thought it was important, that it had meaning, that we could dream and we could fulfill our dreams and we could reach places and that we could do things. This is what we thought, that life was all about. But now, after we've had this social distancing, this silencing, this no festivities, no merriment, everything's somber. People losing their jobs, people being forced to stay at home with their kids or with abusive, spouse, like all kinds of challenging things going on. It's been, like I said before, one of the biggest tests of all time of mental fortitude. So how do you know how do you know how a person has been programmed? How their biological computer has been programmed. So like what kind of angle are they on? What kind of bent are they on? Like what are they all about? Like what is their heat-seeking missile mission, right? And what will you gain? What is it? Because you can't say, well, I don't want anything, and you don't have to always have something from somebody just to talk to them. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want to get information. You want to maybe feel good. You want to maybe be enlightened. I don't know. Like, is there a reason to talk to somebody where you don't have a good return at the end? I'm not really sure if something like that is of value. Yeah, so those are my 10 reasons why you shouldn't talk to people, especially now that that all these things have happened, since March of 2020. So to, reiterate, number one, people lie. Number two, people can bring bad vibes. Number three, most are sleeping, and we are all under the influence of magic. Number four, there's been an increase of betrayal on planet Earth. Number five, people only want information, or they want to just know stuff about you. Number six, people are in denial. Number seven, those who took the foreign matter into their bodies and those who haven't. Number eight, how can you be sure that you're even talking to a person or a human? Number nine, people are fake and phony. Number 10, how has that person's biological computer been programmed? Now, if you have some other reasons why you shouldn't talk to a person, write it down in the comment section and let me know. If my 10 reasons have sufficed, say word or say amen or say that's what's up. Leave a comment, let me know. So now what should you do instead? What should you do instead when you're not talking to people? Well, first of all, it's going to save you a heck of a lot of time. And time is a very precious commodity here on planet Earth, because when time is done, then it's game over and that's it. Everyone had their time and now time is over, and, then you have to move on wherever moving on is. So you should focus on yourself. Now you're probably saying, duh, that's what I've been doing anyway. So, you're not telling me anything new. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a purging, it's a peeling, it's a stripping away of all of the fluff, all of the stuff, all of the baggage, all of the lies, all of the illusions, all of the bullshit that you have taken into your biological system for the past 20 plus years, and to let all of that go. Because the distinction between where people stand is going to have to be clear for you, for me, for the next person. Because if you are unclear, if you say, well, I don't really know where I stand, and why do I have to be forced to make a decision or stand anywhere? Because if you are lukewarm and you are not able to make a decision or choose, then one will be made for you, and one that is probably not to your liking or not in your best interest. So for me, I stand with the divine light. I stand with the pleroma. I stand with the Most High. I stand with my divine inner higher expression of myself. That's where I stand. I stand within my temple. So that's me. And so you have to ask yourself, so where do I stand? That when all is said and done, when push comes to shove, what am I willing to stand and take my very last breath for? For that, you're going to have to be clear. And in order to be clear about that, you're going to have to do the work and purge and purge and purge and purge and let a whole lot of bullshit go. How about exploring your body, your biological computer, and how it works? What makes it run? How can it be improved? What's it doing when I'm sleeping? How can I maximize on my life while I'm here walking this earth, the spirit in human form? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm saying, that you should focus on yourself, that is a really big, huge undertaking. So, yeah, so that's what I wanted to present to you today. And it looks like it's getting to be, starting to get a little bit complicated, if you will, to find real humans, real authentic humans with healthy emotions and a healthy mindset and a healthy state of being to intercourse with, to have stimulating conversations with, to kick around ideas with, and to laugh with, to cry with, and say, That was a crazy situation, but I know why you did it. You know what? Don't even worry about it because you know you're better than that. You know, like where are these other authentic humans? Well, my beautiful beings, I just want to let you know that I must say, I would like to I would like to think of myself as an authentic human being. So if you'd like to have a consultation with me, if you'd like to talk with me or so, then, you know, drop me an email. I'll leave my email address in the description box, and you can write me an email and let me know what topics, you know, are on your mind, and we can set something up. So with that, I would love to send you all lots of healing vibrations, lots of love, a big, big, huge virtual hug to you wherever you are in the world. And if you like this video, if it gave you some value, you know, give it a thumbs up. Hey, why not even subscribe to my channel? Because roaches have a lot of cockroaches have a lot of wisdom to offer, and they've gotten a bad rap. They've gotten a really bad rap. But you know, when you dig a little bit deeper, when you dig a little bit deeper into the history and the richness of the cockroach, you will be amazed. And with that, I bid you adieu and talk to you in the next video. Ciao.